What is an NDE, or near-death experience? Well, in the case of having no detectable brain activity on an encephalogram, which has occurred, or when someone's heart stops, or when someone's other vital functions are halted for a period of time, yet the body can be resuscitated in some way. An NDE is a partial retraction along the time loops, which are the completions of timelines that we generate in the incarnation. Sequences of states are timelines. When you complete them, they become proofs. Okay, the proofs are time loops in the sense that the start symbol, or the beginning of the timeline, and the end state, outcome, or completion of the timeline are concurrent. They're one and the same. They occur at one and the same time. There's no distinction in a temporal sense. They're programmed at once. Now, how that timeline, why do we have incarnations if everything is programmed at once, or co-programmed? Well, because the whole game that we're playing, this divine game, this metaphysical game, is to use free will and wish to resolve start symbols or goals and end states or outcomes. And this is, teleological. It's actually teleodynamical, because teleology is not static. Now, when someone's life is for some reason going awry based on spirit complex programming, and that's smuggling a lot of detail into a phrase that is relatively esoteric, one's own spirit complex or soul, which is basically what's running the show, can temporarily call back the body, mind, or physical mental feedback that is being instantiated by the incarnation. And that calling back is what I call a partial or pre-retraction, because it is a segment of the full retraction, which is the full life review that occurs upon discarnation or death, termination event. And in my case, my NDE was, and there's unique purposes to each NDE, but basically you have to introspect and contemplate as to why you are being called back in this way. Now, in my case, I concluded that I was being called back precisely because I was wasting my incarnation not being in full service to others as I had programmed myself to be. This was evident. I started to consider whether everything was random, whether there was predetermination or just pure randomization, mechanization and randomization, and neither of those actually lead to the truth. The truth is neither purely mechanical or randomized, and that's another topic entirely. But I recognize that had I died, I would have been a blip on a screen without much import, and actually much wasted potential for service and fulfillment. Because service is what allows service to others with a pure heart, with an open heart towards others, using the heart virtues as well allows for fulfillment, intrinsic fulfillment, not self-interested, pseudo-altruistic satiation, but fulfillment of your soul, which is what true service permits, and only true service. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't serve my body and mind in the sense of health. Of course you have to secure physical and mental health, but for what purpose? Well, it's intrinsic in a sense, but it's also tailored to the intersection of your interests, talents, and the needs of those around you, whether those are familial, social, or societal. Okay, of course there can be intrapersonal needs, but if you overemphasize the intrapersonal needs, then something has gone awry. So NDEs, in short, are reconsideration mechanisms that basically put you in a hellish, it's a non-terminal environment, right? The non-terminal environment is the NDE, the environment in which the NDE occurs. And that non-terminal environment can be heavenly, it can be hellish, it can be boring or uneventful. And the precise details of that environment, and I'll detail mine as part of a series, probably on dreams, are the clues through which you can decode why you are being called back, why you are being partially or pre-retracted, right? And so hopefully, if you've had, most people with NDEs come back with a very, very powerful message. That is a scientifically regularized phenomenon at this point. It's empirically studied. which is why NDEs are very important empirical evidence of the great beyond, the non-terminal domain, which is actually not even the great beyond. It's imminent and incessant. It's ambient.